पे बुलंद कर सलावत। इनसे इल्तिमास है वो प्लीज आगे आगे आ जाएं। खानदान ज़हरा पे बुलंद कर सलावत।
रहिमल्लाहु मन यक़रा अल-फ़ातिहा। أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي العربي القرشي المكي المدني الهاشمي صاحب قاب قوسين محبوب رب المشرقين والمغربين جد الحسن والحسين النبي الحرمين والإمام القبلتين والرسول الثقلين الذين سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتخبين المنتجبين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روح وأرواح العالمين لتراب محكمه الفداء واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم ومنكر فضائلهم وحاسب حقوقهم أجمعين من يوم عداوتهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه ومتقن خطابه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من اهتدى فإنما يهتدي لنفسه ومن ضل فإنما يضل عليها ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى وما كنا معذبين حتى نبعث رسولا. وسائر صلوات على محمد وعلى
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
In honor of our fourth holy Imam, Imam Ali Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, recite another salawat. And to hasten the reappearance of our awaited Imam, recite a third loud salawat ala Muhammad. The verse of the Holy Quran which I have had the honor to recite is from Surah Bani Israel, and the verse number is 15, Surah 17, verse 15. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this holy verse draws our attention towards three very important things. You might say four important things. Man ihtada فَإِنَّمَا يَهْتَدِي لِنَفْسِهِ. Whosoever gets the guidance, whosoever becomes guided, whosoever takes the right path, doesn't do any favors on anybody else. Whosoever takes the guidance, whosoever accepts the guidance, does no favors on anybody. مَنِ اهْتَدَى فَإِنَّمَا يَهْتَدِي لِنَفْسِهِ. Whosoever accepts the guidance, the benefit of the guidance is to his own self. And conversely, وَمَنْ ضَلَّ فَإِنَّمَا يَضِلُّ عَلَيْهَا. And whosoever goes astray, takes the wrong path, doesn't harm anybody except for his own self. This is a reminder, because in today's day and age, since the first of Muharram this year, I've recited this verse in various different places, in different majalis, that in today's day and age we asked that what is the need for religion, what is the need for believing in anything, what is the need for guidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I'm not getting any benefit from you being guided or misguided. The benefit is for you, and the harm is also for you. If you take the guidance, the benefit is for you. If you go astray, the harm that will come as a result will also be for you. If we want to emphasize that in a different way, we would say that irrespective of how many people in the world believe in Allah, Allah would remain Allah. Irrespective of how many people believe in the Prophet will remain the Prophet.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
The status of Allah being Creator, Rabbul Alameen, will not change. The status of Prophet being the guide to Alameen will not change, irrespective of whether everybody believes or nobody believes. So any benefit or harm is to my own self. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى, and no person would bear the burden of another person. That's the first message, that guidance and misguidance, benefit and harm is for you. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى, and no person would bear the burden of another person. This, the context of revelation of this particular part of the verse, of course, is that up until that time, the religions that are being followed have the concept of original sin. And religion of Islam has come to teach us that no person will take the burden for another person. Everybody is responsible for their own actions, for their own beliefs. And nobody else. وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا, and this is the policy statement from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we don't send down the punishment except that we send a messenger, he guides the people, he tells them the message, and then they reject him, then we send down the punishment. So our policy is what? That we send the guidance first and the punishment later. This is the policy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, therefore it has to be my policy. That first you tell people, then you bring the punishment. You can't bring the punishment before informing people of what they need to do. So of course today we want to speak about this holy Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, but I want to from a slightly different angle.
MashaAllah.
If you are with me, then inshallah ta'ala we'll bring in, I want to bring in the stories from the Imam, and they're important for us to remind ourselves from the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, but I want to bring in a concept regarding the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. And that is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the human being, created the person, with this ability to accept guidance or to reject guidance. It is a choice. And this is what makes human being better than all the rest of creation. That every other creation has no choice in the matter. Whatever they have been told or whatever they have been determined to do, they will do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has determined that sun will come out at a particular time, the moon will come out at a particular time, the stars will come out at a particular time. All of these things are determined. Just mentioning a few examples. Everything in the world that's been created is determined. Whatever is in the universe that is created is determined, except for human beings. Except for human beings are not determined. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. We have given you the guidance. We have shown you the guidance. We have shown the sabil, the way. Now it's up to you. إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. Either you would be grateful or you would be ungrateful. Either you would accept the guidance and be grateful, or you would reject the guidance and be ungrateful. What is this shukr? This is what we want to talk about. What is shukr?
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
So there's 3 stages to this. Before we reach the manzil or the level of shukr, there's 3 stages. The first stage that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created within all of us, every single one, whether we believe or we don't believe, whether we accept Islam or we accept some other religion, whether we are proponents of tashayyu or anything else, every human being, irrespective of faith and belief and background, has this, which is what? It's called raja in Arabic, and in English translated to be hope. In Urdu we might say ummid. Every human being has this.
बेशक
If a person loses this, then that person becomes depressed. The person who loses raja, who loses hope, becomes depressed.
बेशक
When you speak to a person who's hopeless, they say, I want to die.
वाह वाह वाह
As long as a person is mentally healthy, that person has hope.
वाह 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 जी
That from today, tomorrow will be a better day. I hope that it will be a better day.
बेशक बेशक
This hope is within me irrespective of my beliefs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me with this hope in my fitrah.
वाह वाह वाह
In my innate nature, a human being's nafs has this quality of hope.
बेशक
When this hope is tested, right? Then this hope is tested. I know this topic is a little bit difficult, it's a bit ilmi, but I want you to bear with me so that we can get to natija, this conclusion. And how does this link to Imam alayhi salatu wasalam? Which is where we want to reach. Precise salawat ala Muhammad. I'm relying on your minds because I know I've been here many times
Bismillah.
that you can take this kind of discussion. Precise salawat ala Muhammad. So we have hope. And the person who loses hope, that person becomes depressed, they want to end their life. They try and commit suicide. What happens? People become depressed, they try and commit suicide. Why? Because they've lost hope in life. So when your hope is tested, how do you react? When your hope is tested, I hope tomorrow will be a better day. Tomorrow is not a better day. The day after will be a better day. And then it gets to a point where my hope becomes tested. Now how do I react? Now there's a difference. As far as hope was concerned, there was no difference. But when it comes to reacting when hope is tested, now there's a difference. The one who believes, the one who believes, how does he react? The one who believes, he has sabr, he has patience. The one who believes. Why? Because he knows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put me in this situation to test my patience. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put me in this situation to test my patience. And I'm not the first person to go through this situation. And I'm not the first person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put His chosen people through this situation. That means it's not punishment. That means it's not something that is a problem that I have to be worried about. No, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts His chosen people through this situation, then I know that how I would react would show the difference between me, who is a believer, and the other person who's not a believer. But that putting me in that situation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing my belief. And testing my belief in hope, not my belief in Him. He's testing my belief in this hope that I have. The belief in Him, we'll come to that in a moment. But before that, He's testing my belief in this hope that I've been created with, that tomorrow will be a better day than today. So then I react. When I react, then do I react with patience, with sabr? If I'm put through a difficulty, I react with patience. Like usually when it comes to patience, we think of patience, or we talk about patience, or we reflect over patience as something that's passive. But I want you to reflect over sabr as something which is active, not passive. That sabr as something that's active, it's not passive. That it's not that I accepted oppression, so therefore I'm being patient. No. Accepting oppression is haram. If accepting oppression was okay, then the movement of Karbala would never have come about. The Iqdam of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam is telling me that accepting oppression is not okay. Yes, there's different ways of reacting towards oppression. There's different ways of countering that oppression. But there's never any situation, in any case, that I can be passive. No, being passive is not sabr. Sabr is something that's active. That means that I know that the responsibility to act is mine. Responsibility of outcome is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Nare takbir! Nare risalat! Nare haydari! Lantar salawat! MashaAllah.
Responsibility of outcome is not mine. And this is a message in this for all of us. That remember, responsibility of outcome is not yours. My job, my responsibility is to act, is to do. Outcome is his responsibility. I shouldn't say that I won't do anything because there will be no outcome. You are not responsible for outcome. You are not responsible for outcome. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is responsible for outcome. When Ibrahim a.s. built the house, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, call people to my house. He said, Ya Allah, if I call people from here in the middle of the desert, who's going to hear me?
Wow.
All of us, when Prophet of Allah asked this question, we are also entitled to ask this question. Ya Allah, who's going to hear me? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied to him that the responsibility to call people is yours. The responsibility to carry your voice to every single person is mine. Today when we go for Hajj, when we say Labbaik, we're answering that call that Ibrahim a.s. made 10,000 years ago. That means by answering the call, we're saying we heard it. By answering, by saying Labbaik when we go, and this is wajib. Whoever's gone for Hajj, Brother Atif here sitting here, recent Haji just this year. Whoever's been for Hajj, when you say Labbaik, this saying Talbiyah is wajib. When you reach when you're going towards Arafat, before going to Arafat, they're saying wajib. This is an answer that outcome is not my responsibility. 10,000 years ago, one man made a call in the middle of the desert. I heard the call, that's why I'm answering it.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
That's why I'm answering it. That outcome is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's responsibility. That's not my responsibility. So that is the case for everything. Whatever task I do for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my responsibility to do the action, his responsibility is for the outcome. Why the religion of Islam, this movement of Karbala, is not an outcome-based movement. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu salam led his army of people into Karbala. Every single person advising him saying, what are you doing? Imam Hussein alayhi salam with his action is telling us that my responsibility is to do, the outcome is his responsibility. Remembrance of Karbala is proof that outcome is not your responsibility when it wasn't the responsibility of the Imam. How can it be the responsibility of the follower? Is that salawat ala Muhammad? So hope is tested, and when hope is tested, one reacts with sabr, with patience. That is the sign of a believer. And if someone does a lot of patience, someone expresses lots of patience, someone accepts all the calamities that are befalling them, in Urdu and Farsi and Arabic we say, this person did the sabr of Ayyub. We say, remember this, we say this person did the sabr of Ayyub alayhi salam. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a son and then he took him away. He did patience. He expressed patience. He didn't lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him wealth and he took it away. He didn't lose hope. He still expressed patience. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increased his ibadah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a sign of patience, that you increase your ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the sabr of Ayyub. Finally, everything comes upon him. His health is taken away, his wealth is taken away, his family, his children are taken away. He continues to express patience. Until, what happens? Until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts him in this situation that he has no food and no money. No money to buy the fruit and no food. So his wife goes to the marketplace. Now his wife is the granddaughter of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam. The wife of Hazrat Ayyub is the granddaughter of Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam was so handsome, as you know, that women cut their fingers watching Yusuf alayhi salam. It's mentioned in the Holy Quran. So imagine the granddaughter of Yusuf has the same husn, the same jamal, the same beauty that her grandfather Yusuf alayhi salam had. So she goes to the marketplace. When she goes to the marketplace, the shopkeeper who's given her credit for so long says, I'm not going to give you any more credit. Then she's leaving, and he says, as she's leaving, he says to her, if you cut off a lock of your hair and give it to me, I'll give you more credit. She comes back home. She comes back home and relates this to her husband. Ayyub alayhi salam prays to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says, oh Allah, I can't take it anymore. This is the maximum level of patience that I can enjoy. This is it. I can't allow my wife to be violated in this way. Even though cutting off the lock and hair and giving it was not haram. He didn't ask her to show her hair. He said, cut off a lock of your hair and show and give it to me. But he says, I can't even bear that. At that time, Jibreel comes down and relates to him the story of Karbala. To Ayyub alayhi salam, Jibreel comes down and relates to him the story of Karbala. When he sees that moment and scene, then he says that surely this is the capability only of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. But I want you to remember this because we're going to come back to it. So first we have hope. Everybody has hope. When that hope is tested, then you react with patience, with sabr. And this is the kamal of sabr. The kamal there, highest level of patience is displayed by Ayyub alayhi salam. That's why we used it as a mathal, as an example. That whenever somebody displays a high level of patience, we say this person did the sabr of Ayyub alayhi salam, that he did patience over everything, but even he couldn't bear this. Even his level of patience terminated at this level. He said, I can't bear this, I can't be patient over this anymore. Oh Allah, end my calamity, my problem, my difficulties. And at that moment, Jibreel comes down, he says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has tested you as he wanted to test you. And now everything else will be returned. So his health is returned and his wealth is returned, everything goes back to normal. So it's just a part of his life that he's tested. Just a part of his life that he's tested. And he displays patience in that, and so famous is that patience that we call it the sabr of Ayyub alayhi salam. Now, this is the level of patience. Now, but there's a level higher than this. There's a level higher than this. And it seems as though it's unbelievable that there's a level higher than this. Because if there's a level where a person can be patient over everything that Allah has given him, for example, you've got one person. This person is born in poverty and he dies in poverty. He's never seen wealth, he's never seen health, he's never seen any of the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way that other people have seen. That person, he doesn't know He hasn't been tested because he was never put in that position. He was born in that situation and he died. But the sabr of Ayyub is special. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him all the bounties. Allah gave him wealth. Allah gave him health. Allah gave him everything. And then he took it away. And this is where it becomes difficult. It's easy to upgrade your life, but it's very difficult to downgrade your life. And we see that in our own lives. And this is a lesson from patience, that when we say patience is an active thing, it means that if something in my life from a material point of view has been downgraded, then I have to rely on the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the active form of patience, right? But there's a level higher than this. And what's that level? That is the level of shukr. That is the level of shukr. And what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say regarding guidance? He says, it's up to you whether you're grateful for this or you're ungrateful. That's up to you. That is up to you whether you're grateful or ungrateful. We've given you the choice in this matter. We have given you the guidance. Now it's up to you whether you're going to be grateful or ungrateful. This commandment is for all of us, for everyone who reads the Holy Quran, from Surah Taha, Surah 76, verse. No. There has to be an example of this. That what does it mean to express shukr when it comes to guidance? How do we know what is shukr? Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam. Beautiful hadith. Imam alayhi salam says, praise be to Allah who has considered. Pay attention, this is the important message from today. Praise be to Allah who has considered the inability to offer thanks as gratitude. Inability. When I say Alhamdulillah, this tongue with which I said Alhamdulillah, who gave it to me? This brain and mind which allowed me to think and contemplate and say Alhamdulillah, who gave it to me? All of the ability and capability that I have is all from Him. If I say Alhamdulillah, and no doubt that saying Alhamdulillah is very important. Usually we restrict saying Alhamdulillah to when we finish a meal, because that's what we're taught when we're 3 years old by our mothers. May Allah bless them. That's saying Alhamdulillah when you finish a meal. But every moment of my life I should be saying Alhamdulillah. When the Imam was asked, how is it that we can offer thanks? He said, say Alhamdulillah. But Imam here is giving us a more deeper point. He's saying, consider that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hadn't considered Alhamdulillah to be enough, what would you do? Because it's not. The level of shukr is not enough. Any amount that I do for Him was not enough. It's not enough. Whatever I'm doing is benefit for me. When I say Alhamdulillah, that benefit is coming for me. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? If you take the guidance, the benefit is for you. Therefore, this level of shukr has a level of selfishness in it. It has a part of selfishness in it, that when I'm saying Alhamdulillah, even that's going to benefit me. It's not benefiting Allah. It's not doing anything for Allah. It's not doing anything for anybody else. Whatever it's doing, it's doing it for me. But is there an example of somebody who's offering shukr in a way where there's no element of it being selfish? No element of it. No element of this shukr is selfish. In fact, when people see this shukr, they think, what kind of situation is this to offer shukr? What kind of situation is this to offer shukr? We mentioned that sabr is very important, an active sabr. that if a person, what happens? There's a bereavement in the family. Somebody passes away. When we meet the person from that family, what do we say? Sabr kijiye. Have patience. We say it as a matter of formality. What does it mean, patient? Have patience. What else can that person do? What else can that person do? Nothing. In reality, we're saying, don't let that overcome you. Don't let it lose your hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kamal al-Sabr is when somebody has a choice in the matter. This is not patience. I have no choice in this matter. If somebody from my family has died, then I have to be patient. I have no choice in this matter. Kamal al-Sabr is that a person has a choice in the matter. Somebody has a choice in the matter. And when a person has a choice in the matter and then they choose to be patient, that's patience. That person has a choice in the matter. Why? Let me give you a very example and then we'll come to the Imam. After the Holy Prophet of Islam passes away, Imam Amir Imam Amirul Mu'mineen salatu wasalam, what are his capabilities? What are his capabilities? When nobody wanted to go in front of Amr ibn Abdul, Imam Amirul Mu'mineen salam went. When nobody wanted to go in front of Marhab, Imam Amirul Mu'mineen salam went. So after the Holy Prophet of Islam, silence. Ya Ali, what happened? He said, this is Kamal al-Sabr. I had a choice in the matter. I have a choice in the matter, but Rasulullah ordered me, Ya Ali, I want you to promise me that after me, you will remain patient. After me, you will remain patient. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen remains patient. Very quickly, Namri, since this point has come. Case comes to Imam Amirul Mu'mineen after some years have passed of the Khilafah. Famous, well known, you've heard it many times before. 2 women, 1 baby. What does Imam say? Says, Qamba brings al-Faqar and chops the baby in half. All of a sudden, one of the women says, that's not my baby. Imam says, give it to the one who's saying it's not my baby. Everybody asks, Ya Ali, why? Everybody asks, Ya Ali, why? He says, remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in the fitrat of the mother that she can see her baby go to somebody else. But she can't see her baby being killed. Islam is Ali's baby. He's willing for it to go to somebody else, but he's not willing for it to be killed. This is Kamal of Sabr. That I'm willing for religion of Islam to go to somebody else, but I'm not willing for it to be killed. This is Kamal of Sabr. That, at that time, nobody understands. But now you have hindsight, you can reflect. And you can say, what would have happened if there had been fighting after the Holy Prophet of Islam? People would have said that the companions of the Holy Prophet fought over Khilafat, and Islam was finished. So Imam is he who is willing to sacrifice everything in order to make sure Islam is saved. Even if that means your own rights are sacrificed. This is Kamal of Sabr. And then there's a level above that, and it seems unbelievable that there can be a level above that, and that is a level of shukr. To be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala There's some conditions. To know shukr, there's some conditions. Number one is the acknowledgement and knowledge of that which has been given by him. When I acknowledge that this is something given by him, then I will be grateful. Then there's an acknowledgement of the person, of the entity that is giving. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that requires ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's the one who gives everything. And then it is counting them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? إِن تُعَدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تَحْصُوهَا. If you try to count them, you can't count them. If you try to count them, you can't count them. Then is the level of offering gratefulness, of offering shukr. But all of these are regarding what? Regarding ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When something good happens to me, I say shukran lillah. When I get ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I say shukran lillah. If there's a baby born, we say shukran lillah. If we eat, we say shukran lillah. Whenever we experience a ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say shukran lillah. Right? When we finish our prayers, we say shukran lillah. That we got a chance to offer prayers, we got tawfiq to offer salat in bargah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we say shukran lillah. So then if I see somebody who's in calamity and he's saying shukran lillah, that means that he considers this difficulty to be a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the level above the level of kamal of sabr. If somebody is offering thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the moments of difficulty, then that person acknowledges that that difficulty, that harm, that thing that is happening to me is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you want to see the kamal of that, that is our fourth call, Imam Zain al-Abidin.